What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. I've been leaving you guys without like videos for a while, so I'm gonna do like I usually do, binge drop some videos and probably fall off the map for the next 4 months again. I've had this conversation like 3-4 times recently in like the past few days, and it's about marriage, and guys are talking about compromise in a marriage. And the general, I just met this new guy through a homie of mine, and he's talking about how guys are always saying marriage is compromise. I was talking to some guy on Twitter, he was talking about marriage is compromise, but that was more of a private chat. I was talking to somebody else, can't remember what it was face-to-face conversation. He was talking about marriage is compromise because everybody's on me about how I live and how I am, and I'm pretty staunch about not surrendering the frame. I would rather throw a 10-year marriage down the tube than surrender frame as a man.
Okay.
I would. When I'm listening to these men speak, they have their definitions wrong. You have two parties, and a compromise is when one side yields and the other side yields, and they come to like some sort of amicable agreement on the middle ground between two opposing ideas or concepts or end goals. There's a compromise in there. Everybody loses something, but on a whole, everybody wins because they get at least partially what they want, and everybody's happy. Right? Compromise. But what these men are describing is capitulation, because they're the only ones that are compromising. And when you have two parties negotiating something and then only one side compromises, aka yields, that's a capitulation. That's not a compromise. A compromise is when both sides yield, when both sides surrender something. But when one side consistently and constantly gives up, that's capitulation. It's surrender. It's a loss. It's a brutal loss. And so that's what most guys are dealing with, so that they can, just live in a life of constant hoo-ha. They capitulate. And then eventually one day, they come to find out that, none of it was really truly appreciated. And then they get sour, they get bitter, they get angry, and then they sit there and they become a grumpy old man. Most guys would spend their life in an unhappy, terrible, boring marriage so that they can have a constant flow of hoo-ha, as opposed to going out and just, being happy. And like McDonald's, or is it Burger King, have it your way? Who says that? I think it's Burger King, have it your way. I don't know, man. Anyway, guys, don't get too confused. If you're constantly yielding in a relationship, first and foremost, understand you have yielded, you have surrendered the frame of the relationship. So that means you're the woman in the relationship now. Next, what is I saying? Well, yielded. Yeah, next, it's not compromise what you're doing. It's capitulation. You've surrendered and you've lost. I understand there's a lot of ego investment in this stuff. And a lot of guys are gonna be like, no, it's not like that. It's blah blah blah, and and you're gonna do mental gymnastics to try and explain away why it's not capitulation. But when you really stop and think about it, go dictionary.com and everything, it's capitulation. You've lost. It's not compromise. And what else? It sucks to be you. That's about it. This is your man Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Catch me on Steam It, all at Abuamerican. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm out. What?
What?
It's like still recording.